Hey, shitheads! Welcome to Cyborg New Gods. I'm your game master, Dale, and I'm gonna be taking you dreckheads, you gutter punks, on a trip through the worst city in the world. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to do some good in this shithole. This is a Cyborg actual play podcast using the Cyborg OSR rules, available on DriveThruRPG or from Free League Publishing. Let's get right into it. Well done, punks! I gotta give you credit where credit's due. You went to Radling Subsection A on what Vera Coilings and her hacker collective essentially told you was a suicide mission, and you got all the way up to the Vert processing plant without setting off an alarm, without getting into any scraps, and swiftly dealt with the gang members working there. And now you've got yourselves a spot on Jinghai Sloan's private elevator, direct to her penthouse party, so you can bump the bitch off. But that's the hard part, so don't get too full of yourselves. The elevator rumbles as it carries you up to the 50th floor of Radling Subsection A. And as it carries you up, you could peer out the dusty, grime-encrusted glass window down onto Burn Church Hex below. And at this time of night, the cubicle drones and the trend followers are starting to retire back to their storage compartments, leaving the streets below uncharacteristically dark and quiet. The only signs of life being the neon lights and the new bass music booming from Jinghai's apartment up above. Even now, floors below, piercing the silence. Suddenly, Jonathan, your retinal display begins to vibrate and an icon flashes up on your heads-up display. Incoming call from Doc Tate.
Jonathan looks around at the rest of them in the elevator to see if anybody else is getting the same call, whether it's a group call or just for him.
Like it's just for you. No one else seems to be making any sign that they're reacting to this call. They're checking over their weaponry and gear, making last-minute preparations for the assault on Jinghai's penthouse.
He reaches up and just, taps the side of his head to accept the call and sub-vocalizes a bit. Hello?
An image fills your HUD of Doc Tate in his office down at the old vid studio. There are columns of cardboard boxes behind him, overflowing with Vert. Some of the loot from your previous job for him, and it looks like he's been putting it to good use, as at least one of the cardboard boxes is starting to run low on injector pens. He frowns, wrinkling up his tired leather face, and he says, I hear you're going after Jinghai Sloan, executive of the Virid Vipers, and the go-between for Allianson and the Vipers.
Everything goes well, should be paced in about 20 minutes.
Well, that's your prerogative, and whoever you're working for. But there's something Sloan's got that I reckon might be of use to us down here at the clinic. See, not sure if you know this, but Sloan's been running jobs for Allianson on the side, in addition to her duties as one of the higher-ups in the Vipers. And some of those jobs include sitting on Allianson's intellectual property, keeping it safe off-site, so that no corporate spies can sneak in and make off with it. Off-site in this case being her penthouse. The vault she's got right in the middle of the whole thing, to be precise. Now, I don't know if you've been hired to break into the vault, or if this is meant to be a quick whack-a-mole job, shoot her and get out. But if you get into that vault, somewhere in there is a data chip containing a prototyped blueprint for an Allianson chem that's not yet on the market. Something like an enhanced version of red juice. Think twice as powerful and able to deal with some of the more nasty internal wounds. It would be a great boon to those who live in this part of town. Be able to fix up people's stabbings, gunshots, and things worse than that without even having to open them up. And I've got contacts who would know how to synthesize the stuff. Go on, Jonathan.
You say it's a prototype. Surely that means it's not finished. Are you going to be working on this at all, or are you just going to start synthesizing it wholesale? That sounds dangerous.
He smiles, he says, "Yeah, right on the money. It's not finished. Allianson's got a few kinks they need to work out, but I've been in this game for a long time, and I've got a He pauses for a moment, as if trying to decide whether he wishes to lay all his cards on the table. I've got a guy, ex-TG Labs, like you, and he's probably damn near the best chemist I've ever known. Probably the best chemist in this fucking city, and I've got faith that he'll be able to make it work."
Look. Oh, in that case, that sounds very reasonable. So the last thing I want to do is put an even worse drug on the streets by accident just through negligence.
Yeah, on
I'll
that. Look, I ain't a doctor, but doesn't that sound like some fucked up nano shit to you guys?
Wait, how'd you get in this call? Why am I asking? I know how you got in this call.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Tate rolls his eyes, reaches a hand up to his temple and presses his retina display, and suddenly the rest of the group are pulled into the call. May as well make this a group one then.
Whoop. Hey, that Tate. How you been doing there?
Busy.
A pro tip,
as
you might want to be
expect.
sitting on the rest of that vert for a little while. It'll sell better in a day or three.
At this, Doc Tate smiles mischievously. His eyes go wide. He says, "Something wrong with it?"
No. I'm just saying there'll be a little more demand in a few days.
True. What you're doing tonight's going to get that shit off the street, but...
Sure, I don't know what you're talking about there, Doctor.
If you manage to get that prototype formula that I was just telling Jonathan, and it seems ghost about, from Jinghai Sloan's vault, there won't be any more need for Vert. See, she's got something quite a bit like red juice but much more potent. Now, Alienson hasn't put it on the streets yet, it's only a prototype, but I'm convinced my guy can work out the kinks and put it to good use.
So I'll be square with you, Doctor. I ain't heard much since you've been telling me she's got a vault full of booty. I'll be going along with the others, but I definitely do want to be doing some plundering. And if you're the fellow who wants some treasure, we'll be talking when we have it, eh?
Now, I'll pay you, of course. Can't quite compete with Vera Coilings and her collective, but I will take 500 off your debt in return for the formula, and you're entitled to anything else of value you find in her vault. You're robbing her anyway, right?
'Tis very kind of you to be giving away your possessions to us free and clear like.
No,
I don't see
seriously
anything.
though, guys, doesn't that sound like nano shit?
Well, I think we'd have to be having a look at it once we got it. We got a fellow who works with Nano here. He can look at it.
It's just a blueprint, though.
Is it? Oh, all right then.
Formula.
Might be a bit
Is a
hard to tell.
prototype a blueprint?
It's a prototype blueprint. Hell, there could be a dose of the thing up there as well. I don't know exactly what Sloan's sitting on. I just know she's got the formula. You never know. But look,
But
if you deem
you
it
want the
too
blueprint.
dangerous, I want the blueprint at least. And if there is anything
Alright.
dangerous about it, maybe we can work out the kinks. I think it's worth a try. But if you deem it dangerous, I'll leave it up to you. Do the job you came here to do. Get out. We'll make do down here with what we've got. I'll be honest with you. The healthcare I'm providing to these folks is more than they would have ever got.
Yes, but we can make it better.
Yay. And Ghost, to sage your fares a bit, we live in a world where they fucking chow down on nanos in their street tacos.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's we'll have a good look at what's up there once we get a hold of it. If we get a hold of it. I think we can. But, I'm just saying.
If there are nanos, I'm sure we can find a way to replicate whatever they're doing in the formula. Might reduce some of the potency, but I'll leave it up to you. Smart girl you got there, your Ghost. But I'll get off the line now because I know you're going to need your wits about you. And all goes well, I'll see you with that formula in hand within the next few nights. He gives you a half-hearted wave as the call drops just as the elevator comes to a halt, nearly throwing you all off your feet as it shudders.
The deck be rocking.
And then the door slides open, whoosh, admitting you to the penthouse. And as soon as the door opens, your ears are filled with the sounds of Sloan's party. The new bass pounding, intermingled with the muffled shouts of gangoons high off their faces on various substances, and the frightened screams of whatever poor residents of the tower block Jinghai Sloan has forced to partake in tonight's festivities.
Kitty reactivates her hollow emitter. Boop. Instantly gaining a few feet in height and looking like a middle-aged, hard-bitten pirate woman. Alright then.
And as you step out of the elevator, you see Ghost raise a hand to her ear, tap the access portal for her retina display, and suddenly blinking on all of your HUDs is the penthouse map that Ghost has downloaded with her unparalleled knowledge of technology. You're currently stepping out of the lift onto the roof access This is a big expanse of concrete. There's a couple chairs and tables, the fold-out plastic variety scattered around, but aside from that, there's pretty much no one here. The cold wind buffets your faces, causing your hair to billow around you, and from here, you've got a pretty good view of the city down below. But from where you stand, there's only one way into the party. A small metal door that, according to your map, eventually leads into the parlor. However, there's also what, according to your map, is a window adjoined to the home theatre directly in front of you. It must be a two-way mirror, because when you stare at it on this side, it just seems to be highly reflective, polished mirror sheen built into the walls of the penthouse. But it offers those within the home theatre a good view of the roof access. If anyone's in there, they can see you step out of the lift and are watching you right now. You've got no way to see them.
Yeah, might as well walk like we own the place.
Alright, first things first. Ghost, can you scramble all the comms?
Sure can.
Last thing you need is some calling for reinforcements of some kind.
It's a
Do you
good
want me to roll
idea.
on that, or?
Yeah, Ghost, go ahead, make me a knowledge technology roll, because Jinghai's comms are not the type of stuff you can just grab off the shelf in a store.
I got a 12.
12? It will be difficulty 14. Would you like to glitch?
Yeah, alright. Let's see. No, you won't let me drop the DR for that after I've already rolled, would you?
I'll let you do that in retrospect, yeah.
I think he's sweetheart.
So Ghost just leans against the door of the lift, unslings her cyber deck, plugs it in, and she closes her eyes almost as if she's meditating as her fingers glide across the keyboard. She slams her index finger down on the enter button and then opens her eyes and smiles, unhooking her cyber deck, slinging it back over her shoulder. You've managed to gain admin access to the communications hub of the penthouse. The communications hub itself is run through a server in the armory. At least that's what the electronic trace you ran on it tells you. While you were there, you decided to put the communications network in maintenance mode. A warning flashes up on your HUD. Warning! Warning! Communications disabled while maintenance is in progress. Diagnostics will be complete in 1999, 1998, 1997. Giving you approximately 20 minutes to scout around and get shit done.
Right, whilst they won't be calling for reinforcements, we still better get this done quick. They've got an armory, so chances are they'll run there first.
Yeah. Said, they've got no reason to at the moment. As far as they know, their comms are just undergoing maintenance.
Jonathan has quite an extensive military training as well as surgical and medical. So he's stacking up against the door to the parlor, ready to breach open.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
going. Kitty's going to walk over and lift an arm. We should probably try acting like we've been invited.
Maybe you don't have to fight your way through.
That
At
does
least
make
till we
sense.
see what. At least till we see what's inside and how many innocents be press ganged into this here party, you know?
Sorry, it's kind of a muscle memory thing. And Jonathan just kind of relaxes and shoulders his weapon instead.
It's like we learned back in episode 44. Start with words. You can always try guns if words don't work. And Kitty opens the door.
You step through the metal door into the building, appreciating the momentary relief from the bitterly cold wind out on the roof. And you step into what appears to be a little entrance hall. The floorboards are polished so thoroughly that you can see yourselves reflected in them. And there are rows of shoes and jackets neatly placed on a banister across the wall in front of you. As you approach the thick metal double doors that lead into the parlor, the sound of the music grows louder, and when you press yourselves against the doors, you can feel them vibrating along to the beat of the music. Oh yeah, check this out! Ha, you better run, bitch! Comes a shout from the other side, followed by a woman's scream, and then laughter of more partygoers.
Yeah. Lots of shoes out here, yeah?
Lots of shoes.
Kitty will tap her hollow display and boop! Socks. Doggy bag logo.
Socks with the doggy bag logo. What about the rest of you? Take your shoes off?
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
No.
Nope.
Alright then.
Anyone want to take off their jackets? Or you're just not leaving any of your stuff here?
No, Jonathan is not going to be letting anything go.
Excuse me? Yeah, fair enough.
I would like to retcon something if I may.
Yep, go ahead.
Kitty would have snagged that bowl of candy from outside the lab.
Yeah. The free candy that was inside the hole, painted to resemble a mouth. And as you hold this candy in your hands right now, Kitty...
The bowl. The whole bowl.
As you hold the whole bowl in your hands right now, you can feel the pale blue crystals under the brim of your tricorn. Excuse me, sorry again, I seem to be in a sneezy mood today. You can feel the crystals under the brim of your tricorn vibrating, jostling for your attention as they call out to their kin, seemingly in the candy bowl.
Don't worry, lads. We'll get you proper homes. You won't be lonely anymore.
And so, you push open the thick double doors and step out into the parlor. Flashing lights, with loud new bass music. Everyone around you is trying to forget the world. An endless party. There's many people here, much more than you expected. At least 50 or more. Most of them don't appear to be gang members. Based on what they're wearing, the majority of these people are either corporate types who are friends with Sloan, residents from the tower block, or other people who've been lucky or unlucky enough to have been invited. However, as you scan the crowd, you do notice two bulky men wearing telltale green Virid Viper jackets standing towards the back of the parlor, right in front of a makeshift drinks bar. They seem to be guarding the entrance to the vault that you can see on your map, but you can't see with your naked eye. It looks like there's just plain dry wall and plaster there.
That's fair. That's not where we want to get through anyway. I'd be thinking the best way around is to go over to where the armory door is near.
Perhaps. So, from the parlor, beyond the mass of gyrating, dancing party goers, there's a big bay window that looks out onto the pool area. The pool area seems to be yet another portion of the roof, and you could see at least an equal number of people out there splashing in the water or lazing around the edge of the pool, jostling with each other as they splash each other, push each other into the water, or chase each other around the pool area.
Alright.
As Jonathan scans the crowd, does he notice Jinghai specifically anywhere?
What is your presence?
2, +2.
2. Yeah, you scan the crowd, there's a lot of people, but you don't see Jinghai herself enjoying the festivities.
In that case, Jonathan's just going to head up to the, push through the crowd slowly, trying not to make too much eye contact if possible, and head to the lounge and just kind of peek through the door and see what's happening in there. If the back way in is the best way in, then that's what they'll take.
Anything anyone else is doing?
Pretty much follow him through the crowd at a distance, handing out free samples to the gangers. And the corpo types. Not anyone who looks poor or like they don't want to be there.
Fair enough. And Ghost, Paradigm?
I'm gonna back Jonathan up now from a distance.
Yeah. So you're going to stay in the parlor, sort of find a place where there's not a lot of people, a dark corner, just sit down, maybe look like you're a party goer who's had a bit too much to drink and is just resting, sitting it off for a little bit. While you're jacked in, of course.
Yep, you got it.
And Paradigm, what are you doing?
Probably gonna stick nearby Kitty and just sort of look around, see if I can spot Jinghai or not.
Yeah. So Ghost makes her way past the dance floor and slides into a small booth next to the drinks bar. She's within eyeshot and earshot of the 2 guards standing in front of the hidden vault entrance. But if they notice anything odd about her as they make eye contact, they don't seem to show any signs. Once she's comfortable in the booth and obscured by the dim light on the very edges of the dance floor, she unhooks her cyber deck, plugs it in, and accesses the surveillance system for the penthouse, allowing herself to track the rest of you through the camera feeds on her HUD. Kitty, Jonathan, and Paradigm, what's your presence?
Let me check, actually. I don't
+2.
+2.
2?
Mine is +4.
+4, yeah. So with...
Wow, okay.
You all have high enough presence that you're able to push through the crowds, and no one gives you a second glance. Sure, Kitty's costume's a little strange, but there are stranger-dressed people here. Some of the partygoers appear to be in fancy dress, others not. You can see some of them dressed as vampires. There's a guy dressed like a scarecrow, and there's a couple of them doing their best impression of Virid Vipers members without actually having the emblem on their jackets. You suspect that would get them gunned down or thrown out very quickly for insulting the gang by pretending to be a member. The rest are corporate types or low-level gang members, and as you push your way through, Kitty holds out her bowl of candy, and each time she does so, The person she's offering it to reaches in, takes one of the brightly coloured candies from within, unwraps it and pops it in their mouth without a second thought, smiling and flashing the thumbs up in thanks before returning to their mindless partying.
Remember, kiddies, don't do drugs. Selling them is far more profitable.
By the time you reach the door at the end of the parlour that leads out onto the rest of the roof, you notice that some of the candy from your bowl has made its way over to the two Virid Viper members standing guard at the bar. One of them shakes his head to the blonde-haired corporate type who's offering them, but the other smiles broadly, reaches out and snatches all of the candies out of the corpo's hands, starts unwrapping them one by one and shoveling them into the hole that is his mouth.
Oh dear lord. He's gonna blow. Take cover.
As you push open the glass door that leads out onto the roof, you hear the scream of a woman. It's not the scream of a woman who's been pushed into the pool or has been jostled on the dance floor. This is the scream of somebody who is legitimately afraid for her life. And the first thing you see is a woman wearing a lopsided dress, her bra strap visible, hanging down the side of her shoulder on her right, running past you, emerging from the area of the lounge. And as she runs towards you, the door to the armory area bursts open and a single Virid Viper steps out. His face is covered in white powder, his eyes bloodshot as he raises his gun and he says, "Yeah, bitch, run for it!" and shoots around into the concrete about an inch from the woman's left heel.
Kitty does a quick check. Is anyone in the party reacting to the gunshot?
Look over your shoulder, and if anyone noticed, they're not doing anything. The party continues on as if nothing happened.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
this is absolutely not going to stand.
the woman...
Jonathan,
Yeah, go ahead, Jonathan.
Jonathan charges up and palm strike up into the chin of the Virid Viper with the gun, just reactively, instantly, just running for it.
Fuck yeah!
The woman runs towards you, pale-faced, her eyes wide with fear, and before she has the chance to call out to you or try to move past, Jonathan's already making a move. He sprints out, and as the Virid Viper, high off his face, raises his gun, training it on the woman's back, seemingly prepared to gun her down in cold blood. Jonathan rushes forwards and... Yep, Kitty?
Kitty's going to tackle the woman and put herself between the shooter and the lady.
Very well. I would like Kitty to go ahead and make me an agility acrobatics check, and I'd like Jonathan to make me a strength melee check.
Oh, this is not his strongest suit, but let's see how this goes.
Do you want me to overdrive you?
Yep, you can do that. You can see Jonathan.
I could overcharge you with an app.
Yeah, with an app.
Oh, sure. Can you do that?
Yeah, it's plus D6 on all agility and strength rolls for knowledge plus 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Oh, please. That would be lovely. 1d6.
You got it?
Yeah. So Ghost, who's watching from inside the party, just frowns as she slots the app cartridge into her cyber deck and executes the command. Go ahead, make me a knowledge technology roll, please, Ghost, to activate the app.
That is 15.
15, yeah. Okay, the app goes off, and the botch score goes up to 3, because it was already at 2 with that nasty worm flooding all the public networks of Psi, and security is much higher than usual. But suddenly, Jonathan is overcharged, and to the rest of you, he appears to be moving with supernatural speed. The Virid Viper's far too blasted by whatever drugs he's on to even notice as Jonathan rushes forwards and... Go ahead, Jonathan, make me a strength melee check and you get plus d6 to whatever you roll.
So, originally it was a 2. I glitched to
So that's
reroll.
the 6 10s.
Oh,
Actually,
sweet.
athletics, not melee.
Oh, athletics? That doesn't make any difference to me. That's okay. I rerolled and got 19.
19, nice.
How are you rolling 1d26?
By using the bot. Just 1d26.
Yeah, you could.
okay.
It rolls non-standard dice. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And what was your agility acrobatics?
That's
only-
plus 1 for agility.
Only
Oh, wait.
11.
Only 11. So Kitty rushes forwards and attempts to grapple the woman. But the woman, seeing the pirate costume, immediately mistakes you for one of the partygoers and she screams, shoving you away as she darts past you. The Virid Viper laughs, tightening his finger on the trigger, and just as he's about to pull the trigger, Jonathan surges forwards, nothing more than a blur of white. And up comes his fist as he delivers a swift uppercut to the Virid Viper. You hear the sound of cracking bones as the Viper's eyes roll into the back of his sockets, and he goes down, immediately out for the count.
All right.
His gun clatters onto the concrete beside him.
Get him into the
Jonathan-
armory, quick, and shut the door.
Yeah, I was going to say Jonathan reactively kicks the gun into the crowd, just like skates it along the ground and starts to pick him
Skates
up,
it along
take him
the
into
ground.
the vault.
Meanwhile, the girl gives you one brief look for a fraction of a second, just long enough to impart her thanks before she darts back into the parlor and is swallowed up by the crowd. Safety in numbers. Jonathan kicks the gun, sliding it away behind one of the fake plastic ferns that marks the edge of the pool area. And then you hoist up the Virid Viper and begin to drag him towards the armory area. The armory area or the balcony? They're both equally distant.
The armor.
Definitely the armory.
Yeah.
Aye. He came out of there. He can go back in there.
Yeah. As you drag him towards the armory door, you notice
Kitty's got
there's
her arm around him. He's got had too much to drink.
too much to drink if anyone sees you. But as you approach the armory door, you see that there doesn't appear to be a doorknob or any way to open it. However, it doesn't really matter. As soon as you drag the unconscious Viper close enough to the door itself emits a loud beep beep and slides open, admitting you to the portion of the penthouse beyond. Just beyond the door is another one directly to your right, a thick metal door with the words Armory stamped on it. But to your left are another 2 doors. Old-style, antique wooden doors. One of them, according to your map, the one closest to you, leads to a simple closet. But the other one, the one beyond that, leads to the master bedroom and ensuite.
I have a feeling Jinghai might be there. But we've got a vault to take care of first, I'm betting.
Yeah. Up to you and
Well-
what do you want to do, things in.
While they're in the armory, Johnson's going to quickly just rummage around and see if there's anything useful they can take
Yeah.
for anything they might encounter.
She's going to drag the guy straight into the armory.
Yep.
Just plop him down
Yep.
in there and take whatever security card,
Yeah.
RFID, whatever it is that opens the door.
As you drag him towards the armory door, it lets out the same beep beep, and the metal door slides open, admitting you to the armory beyond. The armory is a relatively cramped room. By the looks of it, in the past would have served as a bedroom or study, but it's been retrofitted to serve as an armory. One of the walls has been replaced with thick bulletproof glass that looks out onto the lounge itself. And based on the fact that the people within the lounge don't seem to notice that you're holding up a guy unconscious in the armory, it's possible this glass doesn't allow them to see you, while it allows you to survey them.
Alright.
The other
She's fond of
walls-
this trick.
The other walls are covered in small cabinets containing enough weaponry to outfit a small militia, locked behind thick metal barred cabinet doors. And in the very center of the room, a small black mainframe hums and whirs and various multicolored LEDs blink. This is, of course, the communication hub. Jonathan props the Virid Viper up against one of the walls and pats him down, finding a small plastic card with an image of a green viper on it in one of his breast pockets.
Well, Ghost, we got a terminal here. Would you like to make your way in at your leisure, or would you like one of us to jack in and hop through us to get to it?
I was gonna say the latter if you didn't.
I don't mind. You can use my brain if nobody else wants.
Thank you, honey.
Jonathan, your presence is +2. I believe.
Yes, +2.
Yeah, so with your military training, you notice that the majority of the weapons stored here appear to be military-grade automatic weapons, the types of battle rifles that you would expect to only be able to get your hands on if you worked for one of the security corps. Of course, they're all tightly locked. And it's quite obvious that the metal barred cabinet doors are not the only measure of security. You can make out tiny electronic sensors built into the sides of each cabinet, probably to log and tag whoever accesses these weapons. But Kitty steps towards the mainframe and reaches up to her temple, pulls the access cord of her RED out and slides it into the access port on the server. And instantly, Kitty, a jolt of electricity surges up the cord. This is the first time you've ever jacked into anything, and I will require a Constitution technology check to see if you can take this in stride.
Not very well, I imagine. We'll see how this goes. Oh, 17. All right, we're good.
Nice.
Nicely done.
The electricity ends up somewhere at the top of your head, mingling with the crystals as they jostle and shift and fill your extremities with a strange tingling. But you take the access shock relatively well, suffering no damage from it. And then Ghost begins her work. Inside your head, Kitty, it feels as if your brain is about to explode. It feels as if it's expanding, pushing against the outside of your skull as the neurons fire faster than they would in any natural interaction with anything.
It'd be like that time I ate too much ice cream with Polly Poppet and her pals.
You're suddenly, instantly in the grip of the most terrible migraine you've ever felt as Ghost's digital presence anchors itself to your brain, using you as the access point to this terminal. Ghost, Kitty's brain is more than enough for you to get in. While you're in here, some of your usual apps and software won't work quite as sharply as they would if you had been jacked in yourself, as they're being filtered through Kitty's brain, and Kitty's brain doesn't quite have the processing power of your cyber deck. What would you like to do within the server now that you're in?
Okay, first up, anything to do with Sloan. Info, location,
Go ahead, make me a knowledge technology roll.
13.
13. The landscape of cyberspace is dulled, less vibrant than it usually is as it's filtered through Kitty's uncomprehending brain matter. The alien dips and valleys aren't quite as steep, aren't quite as tall, but you're able to navigate them well enough, and you find a cluster of data buried in a node in the very center of the network, and deftly avoiding the ice that comes screaming out of the data cluster towards you, you access what's contained within. An Allianson dossier on Jinghai Sloan, perhaps presented to the Allianson higher-ups when considering Sloan as a possible associate or person to work with. Through whatever means, Sloan has procured a copy of her own and stored it here for safekeeping. As you open it up, the first thing that fills your RED, and Kitty's as well as she's jacked in, is a moving photograph of Jinghai Sloan herself, looping the same 3 seconds of footage over and over as she smiles and winks in the aftermath of some drug-fueled murder spree. Sloan herself is olive-skinned, vaguely East Asian in appearance, but her Asian heritage has been bred out over generations, and she passes for the most part as any of size, upper-class, privileged white folk. She's dressed in the stereotypical green Virid Viper jacket, but her jacket is overlaid with patchwork metal armor, pieces of scrap, and military combat plating, most likely laid over the jacket by her own hand. Underneath the jacket, the frame of her body tells you that she is heavily augmented, subdermal plating at the very least, and cyber arms and cyber legs as well. The dossier goes on to read, Jinghai Sloan, born 2057, Burnchurch Hex, father low-level mail room worker, mother petty criminal, recruited into Virid Vipers at age 16. Most of her early career, she served as a drug mule. Somehow, through raw determination, or more likely, fucking the right person, climbed the ranks relatively quickly, becoming the youngest and most ruthless Virid Vipers executive, the age of 25. She's listed as a kill/fuck enthusiast, and the dossier notes that Sloan cannot seem to function without being hopped up on at least 3 times the normal dose of various drugs. Her favourite, and the one she turns to most often, and the one the dossier states she keeps in her secret stash in her penthouse, is pink ooze, which stimulates all pain and pleasure receptors. However, on most occasions, her body is so adapted to it that she barely feels any of its effects at all. That doesn't mean all the time. Other favourites include O-Sleep, which usually precedes a days-long drug-fueled murder spree, or Miura, using the rage-inducing properties of this drug to send herself into a psi-rage. For these reasons, among others, the Aliensen dossier lists her as someone to be used for external operations and wet work only, and not to be elevated above the rank of associate.
Oh, we got a real wild card on us, guys.
Well,
play
this
this
be a
very
pretty
close.
picture. Huh.
Yeah, taking her down is going to be harder than I thought.
Well, here's the thing. She's probably in the bedroom if she ain't in the main digs. So being that she's a kill fucking enthusiast, if she ain't doing the former, she's probably doing the latter. That's me read on things. Is there a way to, like, lock her door to before the ensuite? To, like, keep her there?
Indeed, all of the electronic locks within the penthouse can be accessed through the server. And I'll also add that anyone who has Streetwise would be well aware that kill fuck is indeed a particularly violent game played amongst some gangs, usually the higher-ups in the gangs, where they choose who they want to fuck and who they want to kill. And if the person can't fuck, well, they get killed. It's as simple as that.
That's fairly horrible. Let's lock down the master bedroom ensuite, that door to that area. Let's open up the vault door. And let's lock the kitchen door, shall we?
Do you agree, Ghost?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
That way, that'll let us get through the drug storage, the vault, and then go finish her off at our leisure, assuming she's there. Do we think that she's there, guys?
Oh, it depends on what the security footage says.
Well, Ghost
what
is
does
able
the
to...
security footage say?
Ghost is able to check the surveillance footage for most of the penthouse. And there are 3 areas that aren't keyed into the security feed. That is the home theatre, the ensuite, and the master bedroom.
Alright. So here's the game plan. We'll lock the door that leads outside to the party. We'll lock the ensuite door, we'll lock the kitchen door, we'll open the vault door. And then we'll go deal with the folks in the lounge, raid the vault, come out, go check the bedroom and ensuite to see if we can get her there. And then if she's not there, she's probably in the home theater, so we leave via the vault and go to the home theater and out. Sound good?
What, so you want to dive through the windows in the home theatre?
Well, there's a door.
Don't tell me you don't
outside
wanna.
the vault. Yeah, as you escape.
Well,
Sprint
she's
across
not in the
the
home
roof
theater, we can leave the normal way.
Yeah. But if she is in the home theatre, you get to dive through the windows, sprint across the roof access, and get to the lift.
Aye!
Action-packed escape.
Well, I mean,
Paradigm?
if we were going to avoid the lounge, I can just make us a door through one of these walls.
Yeah, into the
If
vault.
they're not too thick enough.
Oh, aye, I didn't even think of that. Yeah!
Which may
In
be
that case,
just
let's
as
unlock
well.
this door.
Maybe
this
just
door.
as well, because Ghost is able to lock any door in the penthouse, or unlock it if need be, without a roll. She's that good at hacking, and the nodes are fairly prominently displayed within cyberspace. They're all lined up on top of the nearest deep grey plateau. Doesn't seem to be much ice guarding them either, but the node that unlocks the vault doors is contained within an entire nest of intrusion countermeasures. And if
Alright.
Ghost were to unlock that, it would be a difficulty 16 roll.
But if we were to unlock this, aye, that's a good idea there, Paradigm. You're a genius.
Honestly,
All right.
you guys are such freaks. You sure she wouldn't just want to hang?
I was going to say, we shouldn't just go around locking doors and unlocking doors. Last thing we want to do is cause a stir and fuss amongst everybody. Or even alert her that something's amiss.
Alright. Well, let's not lock any in. Let's just see if we can access the Vault Paradigm's way, then cross over and doo-dee-doo. And, yeah, alright.
I can also
Are you done? Are you done? Can I jack out of the system, Ghost? Do you have a remote link thingy?
Before Ghost is able to answer, you do know, Ghost, from accessing the server, that within the vault itself, there are 3 turrets that are primed to gun down anybody who is not pre-cleared for access.
We're
No
definitely
problem.
dealing with that.
Alright.
Go ahead, Ghost. Make me a DC 14 knowledge technology roll to access these turrets.
Okay.
You can do it.
No, I can't.
Urgh.
Would you like a glitch?
Oh, it's probably a really good idea.
Yeah, have a glitch. Take one of mine.
Yeah,
Here.
re-roll.
Hey, there we go. Natural 19.
Natural 19, lovely.
So 24.
Ah.
You duck as the ice comes flying towards you, manifesting as black land sharks. Their fins poking through the grey sand beneath your feet. And then you access the node beyond, passing the data into your body, swiping the glyphs aside with your hand. Would you like to shut these turrets down, or would you like to just add the rest of the group to their friends list?
Yeah, I'll do the friends list.
Could you set it so that disappears completely after 20 minutes? We don't want to
well,
leave
no
records
trace
of
of you.
of us. Just saying.
Yeah, I'll make that.
All right.
Stop your bit, yeah.
Grand.
Make
Can
me a presence technology check, please. If you're going to set it up so there's no trace, because that has a chance of failure.
Lovely, that's 19.
19, yeah. You add the rest of the group to the friends list and then tag this data to self-delete after 20 minutes, leaving no trace that you'd ever been here. And then finally, you give the go-ahead to Kitty, who pulls the cord out of the server and immediately almost falls prone as she returns fully to meat space and realizes every inch of her body is in excruciating pain, as if she'd been working out for 12 hours straight.
Ghost? In that split second, in that liminal space between the ticks, when Kitty was jacking out and you were lifting out of the mainframe, there was a sense of something vast looking at you and smiling. And then the Kitty's lying there going, "Oh, I've been trampled by a mammothette."
And yet, under the brim of your tricorn hat, the crystals vibrate with a strange energy. Tingling unlike anything you felt before. As if they've touched something greater than themselves and have been enlightened from the experience.
Perhaps I need to be jacking in more often.
I mean, clearly you do. You fucking normies can't handle shit, apparently.
First time I've been called a normie, thank you. Alright, Paradigm, you ready to melt that wall?
So vault first, then master bedroom? Sure. Alright, Paradigm. Activate your power.
Kick.
Ghost will be joining in person.
Yep. So at this point, Ghost jacks out of her cyber deck, slings it over her shoulder, gets up, and starts to make her way through the crowd. And I'll just wait until Paradigm rolls before I describe what happens next.
Cool. Very good. And just before I do, I'm going to pop one of my recreational doses of Sea Vortex.
Ah, lovely.
Ooh.
You grab the injector pen, slam it into your navel mouth for double effect.
Yeah?
Yeah. You're about to slam it into your neck, and then you pause, remembering something. You lift up the brim of your jacket and slam the injector pen into your navel mouth. The navel mouth swallows and puckers as it sucks the liquid from the injector pen, and you now have double the effect.
Cool. So all tests where creativity is involved are at -2 DR for D10 minutes. So
Yeah, lovely.
roll and double it. Yeah. Voice chat. Oh, 6, that's 12 minutes.
Yeah, Paradigm, the map on your RED seems to take on an existence that's more than just a two-dimensional blueprint. Suddenly you can see these rooms at will. You can use your mind to fly through 3D representation of the penthouse, and you're able to identify the exact point where the wall between the armory and the vault is the weakest. And then feeling your nanos within you starting to awaken, you get to work. Placing your hand against the thick reinforced concrete wall, the others watch as the concrete turns into grey powder and drops away, forming a small pile around your feet. It's not a quick job. It takes about 10 minutes because of the sheer volume of concrete. But finally, there's a big paradigm-sized hole in the wall, and the armory floor is covered in plumes of grey powder, the remnants of the concrete that used to be there. It's about this time that Ghost, making her way through the parlour, finds herself stopped at the door leading out onto the roof. Ghost, a virid viper, one of the two from the bar, the one who shoveled all of Kitty's candy down his mouth, stands in front of you, his arms folded. He nods curtly in greeting and then points towards the cyber deck slung over your shoulder. He says, party tricks?
I got a few.
See, no one would bring a cyber deck to a shindig like this unless they were planning on hacking into something. Or they're here to spike everyone's REDs and make the music louder, the colours brighter, and I don't recall us hiring a spiker.
Oh no, man, this is just like, I do it for fun.
Fun, eh? I saw you sitting down in the corner over there peering out the window. You had the cyber deck unslung then and you were typing something into it. But you must be a pretty shit spiker because the music doesn't seem any louder to me.
Getting it all set up, man. Come on, I gotta have a big reveal.
Alright then. He folds his arms, he leans back against the wall. He says, give us a preview then. Hey?
Alright, I'll have to jack into you though. Is that alright?
He says, what? You ain't got none of those apps that can get directly into the REDs? Gotta jack into me?
Do I?
You could do like a quick trick with one of your apps, probably copy swappy or something to, make him see some of the party goers as copies of himself or something like that and give him an experience. But if you actually jacked into him, you could probably put him out of commission for the rest of the night.
That's what I was angling for.
I was going to suggest that, yeah.
Go ahead, make me a presence persuade check.
Sure. Nat 20.
That's
Oh,
Look,
Remember,
man,
this is the
seriously,
guy-
I can get in. Like, I could do it like that, but it's kind of a hassle. And to get everyone's REDs together, I need like an amplifier and a relay. If you want something quick and good, just let me jack in, man. Come on.
this is the guy that literally did all the drugs. He's
Yeah.
probably not too hard to persuade.
He nods and smiles and he says, I get it. You're one of them spikers that goes for the intimate experience, right? You're not gonna flood a dance hall with, your visions and your memes and whatnot. People gotta come to you and you give them an intimate one-on-one experience, right? I've heard of
Yeah,
that.
man. Now you're getting it.
A brain dance, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And Ghost gives him a sultry wink.
He rolls his eyes and pulls back his hair, revealing the access port under his earlobe. Go ahead, show me what you got.
Yep, jack it in.
You unsling.
Ghost is going to make it look to the outside viewer like, yeah, they are doing something a bit intimate.
Yeah. So you motion for him to come away with you somewhere quieter. And then you lead him through the door out onto the roof and eventually take him out to the balcony. The balcony is covered in cigarette butts and food wrappers, and there's a stench of smoke and tobacco that hangs in the air. But the important thing is that nobody's out here at the moment. You wink and unsling your cyber deck yet again, pull out the access cord, and jam it into the hole under his ear as he smiles the creepiest, sleaziest smile you've ever seen, holds out his muscular arms and embraces you for the intimate experience.
When I'm done with you, this place is gonna smell like daisies.
As you jack in, I'd like you to make a Constitution survival check for me, please.
You got it. Ooh, that's a... Hang on, what's Constitution?
Toughness.
That's a 7.
D&D on the mind. 7. You don't have any glitches?
No.
Alright.
You
So,
can take one of mine. I got some to show.
Alright.
sure you don't want to keep that, Jonathan?
Oh, I've still got
This
two.
isn't that big a deal. We're alone, aren't we?
Yeah, you're alone.
So aren't really in a
Okay, then
position
whatever.
to assist, unfortunately. But
You are alone, but this guy's chowed down on Kitty's candy.
Yeah.
Sorry, remind me what was in the candy?
Well, we don't know exactly what's in the candy, only that it was offered for
Never ask
free
what's in the candy.
outside the drug factory, and Kitty strongly suspects there's nanos in it.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Alright. Soon as you jack in, you experience something quite unlike you've ever felt before. At first, you think you're being assaulted by ice, but that would be bizarre. There's no way this man has ice in his own body. And after the first moment, you realize this is not ice. You've been struck by ice before. It goes straight for your brain. Usually there's a searing pain through your nervous system and a bloodied nose afterwards, but this is different. You feel a strange tingling in all your extremities that in a fraction of a second turns painful, as if the edges of your fingers and toes are on fire, and then it spreads from your extremities up your limbs, and it feels as if your skin is melting, sliding off your skeleton as the nanos inside the infested candy jump from him to you.
Ah, fuck.
And you take 3 points of damage.
Uh-huh.
And I would like you to go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
Oh boy.
Good.
11.
It's not.
11. You blink, rub your eyes, look around, and the rubbish-encrusted, smoke-reeking balcony around you. How the Virid Viper in front of you, who looks eagerly into your face, awaiting the brain dance, seem to flicker, as if it's all a hologram. Substantial and insubstantial within seconds, flicking back and forth. As you take on the fading infestation, you seem to fade in and out of existence. You disappear from sight and all senses if this infestation goes off, but you're stuck in complete darkness for D4 rounds, after which you appear in a random location up to 50 meters from where you were.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Oh my god, okay.
Fits, actually.
You
Okay,
rub your eyes again, shake your head, and the hologram around you flickers one more time, and then reality returns. You seem to have gotten a handle on it, seem to have anchored yourself to reality for now. But you know, now that you've glimpsed something beyond, that you'll never be the same again, and it's only a matter of time before you simply slip through the gaps. But you're now connected to this Virid Viper, and his bloodshot, drugged eyes are staring into yours, eagerly awaiting whatever you're going to do to him.
Okay, so first off, Ghost is going to try and pass this all off as him having some really weird shit going on with his head, and Ghost will be like, "Dude, you got some fucking aftermarket shit in here you didn't tell me about?"
He opens his mouth and there's froth on his lips as his eyes roll back into his sockets and he slurs, "Ugh, don't know what you've done, but ugh, the drugs with the brain dance, holy shit, turn it up, man, up to 11, and he wraps his arms tighter around you, determined to go deeper.
Oh man. Okay, I just wanna dump as much fucking garbage data as possible into his senses.
Yeah. You smile. Smile that he can't see as he's now on his knees, burying his face in your upper torso, seemingly weeping like a child. As you hit the enter key on your cyber deck, dumping all of the junk data on your SSD straight into his retinal implants, the old net cache, all of the compiled shaders from your alternate reality programs, all of the spam messages that have been caught in your filter and dumped in their own shadowy corner of the SSD. All of this hits his senses at once. His body shudders and he lets out a long long groan of intense pleasure as his eyes glaze over and he lets go of you, sinking to your feet unconscious, his body still twitching even in his deep sleep.
Okay. While he's out, since things have already gone badly anyway, I'm gonna do a quick scan to see if there's anything interesting, useful in his head. Something sellable, even.
Everything in his head is quickly being overwritten by the flood of junk data you've dumped into him, but you're able to catch a couple snippets of data just before you jack out. The first is a passcode. You're not sure what it's for. All you know is that there's a sequence of numbers in his head that he's not just had to memorize, that he's gone to great lengths to have embedded within his retina chip. 0451.
Oh, for God's sake.
You rip the cord out of the access port under his ear, and he groans once more. As you coil the cord up, rip the other end out from your own implant, and sling your cyberdeck back over your shoulder with the code in your noggin, 0451.
Wow.
Alright. I'm just gonna prop him up against a wall so it looks like he's just... Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You prop him up against a wall, grab a couple of empty beer bottles that are strewn around the balcony, and just lay them in a line in front of him so it looks for all the world as if he's had too much to drink. And then you head back inside, ready to join the others in the armory. And as the rest of you hear the beep beep and the whoosh of the armory door sliding open, you whirl around, your weapons drawn, only to see that it's Ghost.
Higher. Glad you could join us. Yep. Ready to
Yeah,
head into the vault.
Look, I think I picked up a really nasty virus or something.
Oh. Sorry?
What the hell were you doing out there while we were gone?
Look, man, people get weird at parties.
You didn't happen to get it from me head, did you? The reality crystals be a little stroppy sometimes.
No, you're good, you're good.
Okay.
And yet, as Ghost walks closer, Kitty and Paradigm, you can feel that unmistakable taint of the nanos, as the nanos within your own bodies vibrate and hum, welcoming another to their fold. So there's a big hole in the concrete wall leading into the vault beyond. You ready to step through?
Pretty much. Kitty will try to sneak in first.
Yeah. So Kitty goes first, carefully making her way through the hole. And it seems as if Jinghai Sloan did not intend anyone to make it through the hole, enter through the vault this way. There aren't any sensors, there's no tripwires or anything like that. The 3 turrets dangle from the roof, carefully sweeping from left to right, trying to pick up threats. And they pass right over you as you step into the vault itself. The vault at one point was a dingy walk-in closet. You can still see some old socks and underwear strewn about the place here, wedged in the dark corners of the vault itself, and the room is not particularly well lit. There's enough ambient light floating in from the armory that you're able to see what you're doing, but there aren't any sources of light within the vault itself. The vault is...
Flashlight.
The vault is just... Yeah, go ahead, flashlight. And anyone else who's got any way to see in the dark. Jonathan, would you be turning on your night vision?
I just boost the gain on my optics.
Yeah, you boost the gain, amplifying the ambient light that exists. And Jonathan and Paradigm, you have night vision goggles, I believe?
Yeah, I've got. Yeah, I think we both got the visor. Yeah. I also have a flashlight as well.
Yeah. So as you step into the vault, you reach up, turn on your visors, and flood the vault in incandescent green light. And you're surprised. Despite its size, the vault is mostly empty. There's a single safe. A single large metal safe right in the very center of the vault. Aside from that, it's completely empty. The concrete floor strewn with cigarette butts, old socks, crusty underwear, used auto-injectors. However, with a flashlight and with your night vision, and knowing what your presence is, you also notice something else, a second safe. This one not immediately visible. Instead, it's embedded into the thick concrete wall at the back of the vault. The wall that, according to your map, adjoins the vault with the home theatre. And with no source of light, you wouldn't have seen it at all, as that entire wall is blanketed in thick blackness.
Tricky. Alright. I'll go and look at the safe. In this, the hidden safe.
Yeah. You walk up to the hidden safe. There's a numeric keypad, but nothing else of interest. There is also, next to the numeric keypad, a biometric scanner, and somebody's scrawled on it in messy handwriting, Sloan only.
We're gonna need her head.
Slowly.
Yes, slowly.
And maybe there's a clue to the combo. Does the center safe feel like a trap to anyone else?
The center safe is much... Yeah. The center safe is much larger than the one embedded in the wall, and unlike the one embedded in the wall, this one does not have a biometric scanner or a keypad. The lock appears to be purely mechanical with an old-fashioned turn wheel.
That feels entirely like a trap. Well,
I mean, it is in a vault.
But I'm just saying. I'm voting we don't
right
mess with it,
would
but I'm
build-
one of 4. So, what's your vote?
Who in their right mind would build an entire vault just to put a dummy safe right in the middle? If they're already in, they're already in, right? We're already in.
Yeah. Unless you're just that paranoid about whatever's in the vault.
Well, I'll tell you what. It looks like to get into this secret one, which probably has some good shit in it, we're gonna need Jinghai's head or hand or something, so why don't we go kill her, then come back with it? And we can check out both safes then.
Unless you want to take a shot at the code.
I mean, we've seen no traces of a numeric code anywhere. So...
Ghost
about
has, though.
that.
What?
Yeah, no, let's say I hooked up with a guy, right? And, I got a number. I don't have any context for it. So I don't know if you want to try it, but...
Yeah, sure. What's the number?
It's 0451.
Beep, 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 beep.
Click! The safe door swings open immediately, revealing a small shoebox-sized compartment on the other side.
Whoop. I'll reach in, grab it, pull it out.
Okay, I'm thinking the guy I hooked up with might have been a little more important than I realized.
Perhaps. He was
Well.
one of the 2 people guarding the secret entrance to the vault, which, now that you're in the vault, you could see is definitely there. In fact, there's a button that would cause that portion of wall to slide away and grant you access back into the parlor.
Ah,
Kitty
took one for the
reaches-
team, Ghost.
Kitty reaches into the compartment, holding her flashlight up with one hand and using her other hand to liberate whatever's within. And there is, within the vault, a whole bunch of goodies. The first is a cred stick, presumably Sloan's. The second is a palm-sized data pad with the Alienson logo stamped onto the bodywork.
The blueprint.
Ghost snatches the pad.
Snatches the pad.
Okay.
And a face block.
Oh, handy that.
The face block is... Look, you've never seen one in person. These are highly illegal, only available on the black market, and anyone who's known to possess one will often be shot at with great prejudice by the Set Corps. It resembles a sort of headband, although it's made out of plastic and silicone with the word Face Block 3.1 engraved into the front of it and a series of coloured buttons along the side.
Not useful immediately, but one of your big folks might want one of this. Might want this. She'll hand over the face block and check the cred stick.
Yeah. You slot the cred stick, and I would like you to go ahead and roll a... roll 4d6 for me, please.
Yeah, alright. You ask me, see how my luck goes.
You're the one who slotted it.
Yeah. 15? Hey, okay.
15. The cred stick has 1,500 creds. And most importantly, the creds are completely clean, untraceable. This is Jinghai's rainy day fund.
Well, Kitty knows that sharing is caring and immediately splits it 4 ways. But he passes it out.
Who puts 1.5K in a fucking vault?
Somebody who might need 1.5K in a hurry. Well, shall we go whacker?
Actually, I've got an idea. Why don't you
375?
start on this safe in the center? I'll be right back.
Anyway, that's 375.
Yeah,
I'm telling
375
ya,
for each.
it's probably a trap, but if you want us to...
So, meanwhile, Ghost, are you going to turn on the data pad so you can examine the blueprint?
Definitely.
So Ghost presses a button on the data pad and it turns on, bathing you all in a faint blue light. The blueprint is on the screen immediately. But it's not so much of a blueprint as it is just a list of chemical formulas and mathematical equations, and anyone who would like to try and pass it will need to make for me a knowledge science or knowledge medicine roll.
Jonathan, can you make sense to this?
So I can give it a go. Hold on to it. Let's check this out afterwards.
Yep.
I could have it. I could have a try once we're in a find a location. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, Paradigm and Jonathan can
Oh,
both
you got
have a go at
science?
some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got science.
It helps with
fair.
nanos.
Right. We're kind of on the clock here, so yeah, another location.
So Ghost
While-
swipes her thing. Yep, go ahead.
I was going to say, while they're all fiddling over the safe in the middle of the room, Jonathan's going
Are
to
we?
head out.
Do we truly want to fiddle with the safe in the middle of the room?
Didn't we just do that?
I'm-
No, you
If
you
fit-
opened the one
That
that's
was the
hidden
wall.
in the wall. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
We opened
So
the one in
Kitty-
the wall and found what we came for with some money and goodies on top of
Yeah.
that.
Kitty believes the one in the big central safe is a decoy,
trap,
but Jonathan does not.
I don't know.
Look,
I mean,
Trust me, just busy yourselves in here for a minute. I'll be right back.
All right.
So while Jonathan leaves,
Dorot's just gonna watch Jonathan's optics just subtly.
Just presses the button and suddenly she's seeing through Jonathan's eyes. I'll ask Paradigm to make that knowledge science check now then, while Jonathan goes off to do his thing.
It's a 14.
14. Make yourselves busy, mutters Paradigm under his breath as he snatches the data pad out of Ghost's hand and huddles down in the corner of the vault, studying it intensely. Jonathan, where do you go? What do you do?
Since he's still wearing the security guard outfit, it's like smattered with green and goo and assumedly like small splits of blood as well.
Yeah. There's still unmistakably a security guard outfit underneath, and there are a lot of people in this party splattered with all sorts of things, so it doesn't exactly draw a second glance.
He's going to go up to the master bedroom and knock on the door with his gun like drawn, but like casually in kind of like the way you'd expect somebody addressing their superior with a weapon, just like held it at ease.
Yeah.
He's going to knock on the door and yell, Miss Sloan, it's important. It's about the lab.
As you rap on the master bedroom door, you get a response. It's not quite the one you were hoping for. A voice calls out, for the love of God, help me!
Jonathan's going to open the door and see what the fuck is going on. That's not what I expected.
You grab the handle of this ornate wooden door and push it open. It creaks softly as it opens, and you step into Sloane's room, which is full of cheap shit that only looks expensive. It smells like sex. And there is a huge bed in the very center of the room. It's about the size of 3 king-size beds stitched together length, end on end. And sprawling across it is a man, utterly nude save for his underwear. At the foot of the bed, a pile of bright green clothes. Presumably his Virid Viper uniform lies on the floorboards. His bare skin is covered in what look like small nicks and cuts and cigarette burns, and as he strains his neck to try to see you, to try to watch you enter, see who you are, you realize that somebody has tied each of his limbs to the corners of this huge bed with what looks like thick paracord.
He's got no time for this.
Sloan left me here, please, he says.
Jonathan backs away slowly and closes the door and heads back towards the kitchen.
No!
No, don't leave! No! She said I'll bleed to death! Ah! As you shut the door, you shut out his cries for help, and you return to the others.
No, he's gonna go to the kitchen and see if he can find her. The plan is basically to tell her that the drug lab has been destroyed and somebody's broken into the vault. She's got to come with him quickly.
If you can find her.
So a message just blips up on Jonathan's optics. It says, "Oh, dude."
You step out of the master bedroom and into the lounge, or drug storage, as it's marked on your map. This room is sterile, new. It would be the nicest part of the penthouse if it were not for at least 30 doses of Miura, all neatly wrapped, laid out on a series of glass coffee tables. 3 low-level gang goons wearing Virid Viper jackets are currently busy sorting their drugs, their backs turned to you, while a stockier man wearing a much brighter shade of green, indicating that he is a higher up within the Vipers, stands watching over them. Remember, Sloan knows some of you have been sampling the stash. If she catches you, she's gonna shit in your mouth, so hands off the drugs! He barks out. All 4 of them seem to be unaware of your presence as you step into the lounge.
Okay, Jonathan's going to approach the one who seems to be proclaimed leader, designating orders. Put his hand on his shoulder, turn him around, and say, "Where's Sloan?"
He turns around, and the first thing he does is reach for his weapon. He doesn't pull it out, but he scowls as he looks you up and down, taking in the myriad of substances your ill-fitting uniform is bladdered with. And he says, "Huh? Fuck happened to you, buddy?"
It's a long story. I need to talk to Sloan immediately.
Sloan, catching a movie in the home theater. Cop Killer 69.
Oh, fuck, of
Her
course she is.
favorite.
Alright, thanks very much for the information. Jonathan's aware that they will probably come running if anything goes wrong.
So, as Jonathan turns around, I'm going to have this gang member roll to see if he notices something.
The blood of his friends.
As Jonathan turns around and begins heading back towards the others, and as Kitty starts sneaking almost instinctually back into the armory, as if she feels something's about to go wrong, the Virid Viper draws his weapon. Jonathan, you hear the click as he levels it towards you and says, "Hey, hang on, I know that green shit. That's the stuff the cops put at the crime scenes. You're an undercover Fed!" And then he calls out, "We got a cop! Get him! Get him!" And the other gang members sigh in an exasperated tone. One of them sighs, "Again," as they draw their weapons and turn to face you. Jonathan, I'd like you to roll initiative, please.
Oh, fucking hell. This did not go how I thought it was gonna go.
You went off alone, man.
I was hoping I could pull her into a trap.
1d6 for me, Jonathan.
It was a gamble. It was a good risk.
I thought it was fun. 6.
Yeah.
6. You guys go first. Jonathan,
Hey.
you hear the click of the gun being cocked. What do you do?
He's just gonna proclaim, "Oh, fuck off, I'm not a cop." But pull up his assault rifle and point it at them anyway. So instead of taking a shot first, he's going to essentially prepare to reactively auto-fire if they take a shot.
If they take a shot, alright.
Hopefully him not firing first and saying that will dissuade them slightly.
Raise your assault rifle. Their guns are trained on you, your gun's trained on them, and you're in a Mexican standoff in the middle of the drug lounge. Kitty, you're up next as you were sneaking into position.
Kitty is going to come up to the corner, then message Jonathan, "Got a potato coming in, close your eyes, love." and she'll toss a flashbang in.
She tosses the flashbang in, it clatters on the ground, and one of the Vipers sees it and shouts, "Ah! It's a raid! The feds are here! The feds are here! Scramble!" The flash grenade goes off, and go ahead and roll to see how many rounds it lasts for.
Not a problem. Three rounds.
3 rounds. I'm going to test their toughness.
ER 14.
Okay, so the 3 minor gang goons are all blinded, but the main guy doesn't appear to be. His reflexes are sharp and he turns away at the last moment, sparing himself the sensory overload of the flash grenade. Alright, Ghost, you're up next.
Bullets.
Blap, blap.
Nearest guy, auto fire.
Nearest guy. Alright, go ahead, auto fire. Agility, firearms.
That is 19.
19, that's a hit. Roll the damage.
Okay, that's weird. Let me just use the roller. What's the syntax for our roller?
Exclamation mark, roll, space,
I got it,
then
it's
the
2.
dice. 2. Nice. So, Ghost rushes into the armory, points her gun through the thick glass and fires. The glass is thick enough that it takes a couple of shots to put a crack in it, and then another couple of shots to cause it to finally shatter. But when the glass shatters, one of the gang goons turns around in utter shock, reaching for his weapon, but not before Ghost unloads the last of her shots straight into him, hitting him in the arm and causing him to drop his weapon. That was auto fire, so you get to go again.
And it is a... that's a 7.
Yeah, he hits the ground, scrambles to pick up his gun, and then crawls behind one of the coffee tables. And Paradigm, you're up.
Okay. So he's just blown the window open so we can
So you
open
can
way in
get
there.
out through there, yep. You can also use the bottom of the window as cover.
Cool. I will. Yeah, he's just gonna smart pistol and try and take out one of the blinded goons if there's still any.
Go ahead. That is DR8 to hit him.
Actually. Yeah, 'cause several of them are blinded, so I'm actually gonna make this an auto fire.
Yeah, go ahead. DR8.
Yeah. Oh, that's a natural 20.
Ooh, okay.
Oh.
Roll damage, double. Are you going to hit the same one that Ghost clipped in the arm, or take one of the ones that hasn't been hit yet?
Yeah, I was initially going for one of the other ones, yeah.
Yeah, alright. Go ahead, roll and double.
I rolled a 2, so it's a 4.
4. So, your smart gun hums as it locks onto the guy's face, but he ducks just at the last moment as he raises his own gun to provide covering fire, and you end up shooting him in the upper torso. He gasps as blood gushes out. In the background, the music from the party blocks out the sound of the gunfight. Go ahead, make your next attack.
I'll put the syntax in first. There's a 16 to hit.
16 a hit, yeah, that's a hit. Roll the damage, same guy.
If he's still up, yeah.
He's still up. He's been shot in the chest. He's still barely up.
8 damage that time.
8 damage. This time, you wait a second and wait for the smart gun to blink and beep, 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 and then you squeeze the trigger and the bullet seems to fly through the air, homing towards his head. which explodes like a watermelon as he hits the floor. It's the enemy's turn, so there's 3 Gangoons left that are blinded, and they're waving their guns around furiously, and Jonathan, they're about to fire their guns. Would you like to take a reaction, or would you like to wait for the other guy to fire?
No, less noise is good. He's going to take the shot now.
Alright, go ahead, roll to hit.
That's 13.
13, that's a hit. Roll the damage.
4. 4 on the first.
4, nice. The
Were you
one
doing
who was...
auto-fire?
Yes.
Yes. The one who was clipped in the arm by a ghost raises his gun ready to fire back at Paradigm. You hone into your military training, raise your rifle as a reflex and squeeze the trigger. A single bullet slams into his head as he goes silently down, and then you turn your gun to the next guy. Go ahead, roll to hit.
Uh, 13 again.
13 again, roll the damage.
That's only 1.
Only 1.
Bad
He
shot.
ducks just at the last moment as your bullet grazes his right shoulder. And then it's the enemy's turn. "Get down!" shouts the head viper as he detaches a frag grenade from his belt, takes cover behind one of the coffee tables and hurls it out into the center of the room. I'm going to roll a d3. So that's going to hit 2 of you. So we'll go Kitty and Jonathan as you're the closest to him. So
Sounds
Kitty
great.
and, Kitty and Jonathan, you each take
Alright.
6 points of damage. You may roll your armor, though.
Alright, do I get a bonus? Because I was around the corner.
Yeah, you get a bonus. You get +1 to your roll.
Works for
That's
me.
3 off. So that's 3 damage.
3 off, so 3 damage. Boom! The hand grenade goes off, spraying you with shrapnel.
4 off here.
4 off.
2 damage.
And then he raises his shotgun, points it towards Jonathan, and fires. Jonathan, roll to dodge, DR 12. That's including your body armor, because he normally gets DR 14 for these particular enemies.
Is he flashbanged? I forget.
No, he's the one he's the one guy
got
who
it.
didn't get flashbang.
That's 25.
25, yeah.
Wow,
You quickly
okay.
throw yourself into cover as he fires his shotgun. And then the 2 blinded guys who are remaining point their guns in the direction of Kitty and let loose with auto fire. Go ahead, Kitty, roll 2 DR8s to dodge.
I am close to Jonathan, so...
Yes, a DR6.
You go, buddy, go.
Yeah, DR6.
Rest less I roll horribly. Ah...
Oh no.
I'll pay for it not to
Ooh.
be a glitch.
Pay for it not to
And
be a fumble.
with a 6, I dodge that one.
Yep. So you get hit by the other one, but it's not a fumble, so you don't take double damage.
No, I don't get hit.
Oh, you don't get hit at all. Yep, you paid to not.
1
Yep.
plus 5 is 6.
Ah, yes, it is, yes.
Kitty is
Ah.
good at dodging.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been a fumble, so yeah, he doesn't hit you.
But
They
the
let
second
me-
one is a fumble.
Second one is a fumble.
Oh,
So you dodge the first
Could be
one. You dodge the first one, but you're not taking account of the second guy who's just firing blindly throughout the room, and you end up diving straight into the crossfire.
2 ones in a
And-
row, fuck me.
He hits you for 6 points of damage. Roll your armor, and your armor's also damaged a tier until you can get it repaired in downtime.
6 points, you said?
6
Alright.
points, yep.
Only 2 points.
Lovely.
Kitty
But some of-
staggers back, half her face off.
Yeah, Terminator style. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. But the armor, his bullets shred some of your armor, and her immaculate pirate costume now hangs in tatters. And then with his auto fire, he pulls the gun around and fires at Paradigm. Go ahead, Paradigm, DR8.
Again. Yeah, 18 total.
18, yeah, you duck under the rim of the big window. Bullets pepper the concrete. And now it's Jonathan's turn again.
Okay. And that... So there's only one guy left, right?
2 blinded guys and the main guy.
They've already kind of, they've already made it a no-holds-barred scenario. Jonathan's gonna lob a grenade at them.
Ooh. Okay, roll a d3.
I was really hoping we'd get through this without having, like, major loud noises going off. Like, we could have, like, a quiet shot in the vault or something, but no, grenades it is.
Fortunately, the walls are pretty thick. They're right next to the vault, so...
Yeah, and there is music pounding throughout the penthouse.
1d6 you said? No, 1d3 for
1d3,
targets.
yep.
That's 1. Fantastic.
So we'll choose the main guy then, as he's the biggest guy there. Go ahead, roll d6 for damage.
It does do 6 damage, though.
Yeah, 6 damage. Boom! It knocks him off his feet. He sprawls to the ground, but he's somehow still up. He fumbles for the radio on his belt and shouts, "Back up! Back up! Feds! Raiding in the lounge! Feds!" But there's no response.
Because we shut down the comms. Kitty's turn.
Kitty's turn, yep.
And I forgot something. She has burn everything. So, for spinning that glitch, she gets a free Molotov action.
Yeah, go ahead.
And, how can I roll D3 and get a Z? Oh, okay. Syntax. So, all 3 of them eat fire. As Kitty runs out, monosword waving, hurls a fiery mass of flaming rum in their faces. Each of them taking 2 points of damage, and then she'll take the monosword to the one that shot her.
Yeah. As fire spreads throughout the lounge, and the 2 blinded goons run aimlessly towards the walls, screaming. You charge towards the main Virid Viper. Go ahead, roll to hit him.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Roll and double.
$10 points. She pretty much leaps up, grabs him by the jacket front, drags him to the ground, and tries to decapitate him.
Yep, and you succeed. Shing! The mono sword cuts through the sinew of his neck, and his head rolls to the floor. And I'm gonna roll morale for the 2 guys left remaining.
The blinded guys who are on fire? Yeah, okay.
Yep. They hit the ground, rolling back and forth, patting themselves down desperately as they go to put out the flames. And when they manage to pat the flames off their uniforms, they throw their guns onto the floorboards, prostrate themselves before Kitty, and say, we surrender, we've got names, we can be good informants.
You wait down here for the rest of the cops to show up and apprehend ya, says Kitty. Come on, let's go.
They nod and they scramble for cover behind the coffee tables. I'm gonna roll to see if anyone out there in the party heard any of... The music continues pounding. And it looks like nobody's aware of the brief but violent battle that just took place here.
Wait a minute, I got an idea.
Kitty's head kind of shudders on her neck, then she turns around, giving you a clear look of the hole shot right through her head. The circuits falling out, kind of sparking, and says, anyone got a red juice injector, by the by?
And you all get to roll 1d4 and regain that much HP, and I'd also like anyone who fired a gun to roll to see if they need to reload.
Also, what's your idea, Ghost?
Ghost is going to make their projection of themselves look as official as possible. And she's going to make a gamble on something and say, "You all can avoid sentences if you work for us. Help us out."
Make me a presence persuade check, but first roll d. Well, you haven't. Yeah, you can recover some of the damage you took. Roll a d4 and recover that much health, and roll to see if you need to reload your gun.
What's the reload roll again?
So you auto-fired, so it will be
D6.
D6.
Okay, 2 for reload, which is no.
Which 2 is you need to reload. You exhausted that clip.
And I got 3 health back.
3 health back, lovely. And then do your presence persuade.
Detective, you sure this is wise? There's no way we can trust them. We best leave and get sorted out in the tank.
No, I think they'll listen. I think they'll help us out. They look remorseful.
Remorseful. You're too trusting. Always been a good cop.
Presence persuade, yeah?
Yep, add a +1 to the roll.
17.
17. One of the goons, his uniform charred, covered in soot and blood, crawls out from behind a coffee table. He looks up at you, his eyes wide. He shakes his head and he says, No, we can be useful. Look, we just don't want the chair. That's it. Just anything but the chair. We'll help you however we'll tell you anything you need to know.
How are they looking healthy? They're really freaking hurt, right?
Yeah, they're fucked up.
Yeah, they're like bleeding. One of them looks like he's got a broken arm.
How much, do we have any...
They're not prohibitively hurt. Like, they've taken a beating, but they're not... They'll live.
Officer Jonathan, can you give them a once-over, see if you can fix anything up real quick?
Yeah, Jonathan.
Jonathan looks over, but he's currently, looking over all the drugs, and he responds by saying, 1 second, just let me do some, forensics on these, and grabs a couple of, injectors of Miura and stuffs them in his pockets before heading over.
Jonathan, what do you have medicine, yeah?
Oh yeah, he's got medicine.
So you reach into your pocket and you're able to make some crude slings and bandages. Takes about 3 minutes to treat both of them, and they thank you, breathing sighs of relief as they hunch up against the wall. You give them each a handful of painkillers and they down them. And now they're none the worse for wear.
Alright.
You gave them the typical textbook trauma team emergency response.
Can I quickly pat them down to see if there's any, auto-fire ammo among any of them? I could use a clip.
Yeah, so they each have a single spare clip for a 9mm auto-fire pistol.
Ah, dang. No deal. Alright.
Kitty will
No,
text.
I want to have them as assists.
Yeah, so you take the clip.
Oh, you're gonna tell them that if they help take down Sloan, they can live.
Well, so they might
Damn right
need their
I am.
ammo.
Alright. Actually, yeah, we could do the ambush plan. Tell one of them, go get Sloan, tell her there's a problem in the drug lab, and we'll slide into the armory, and we'll ambush her from behind when she goes running in.
As if you can trust them to do so.
Well,
Could just
We're
go
on
crying
strict
home to
orders.
mummy.
One of them shakes his head. We're under strict orders. When Sloane's in there we're watching cop killer, she can't be disturbed. Whole theater to herself. And the guy who won at fuck kill, she'll gun us down on the spot if we so much as step in there without...
don't worry about it.
First.
Why don't you just both go to sleep? And Kitty will text, I got a better idea. Let's put them out before they get any more good looks at our faces.
Yeah.
Appreciate the idea, but if you want minions, we got something simpler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and Kitty.
Oh, not
first
those.
she goes and chokes them out. Good night.
Yeah.
Then
Come on.
she pulls out the scum birther and throws a sandwich into it.
You slam the scum birther shut.
No.
It's like an easy bake oven. Only
And then
evil.
you stand there for approximately 30 seconds as the silver briefcase vibrates on the floor, occasionally clicking, occasionally humming, but all the while making disgusting squelching noises.
You just want to fucking use that thing. They were gonna cooperate.
They had broken legs and they were cowardly and they were burned and shit. This is better.
We need a better crew.
This is better.
Yes.
After about a minute, finally the cacophony stops and the lid pops open. Boom! And a small, entirely nude, cream-coloured homunculus with a head that strongly reminds you of a potato with its shape and texture, with tiny beady black eyes, crawls out. Go ahead, kitty. Test presence, persuade.
Already did. That's a 20.
20.
Oh, 22, sorry.
22. It climbs out, raises a stumpy hand to its potato-like head, and salutes, and says, "Captain Kitty, sir, we'll swab the deck!"
Aye, you will. I need you to wear this. It gets a paper pirate hat. And hold on to this. And she gives him a flashbang. And we give you the signal, you're to go run into the door and pull the pin.
"Hey, Captain!" It gives you another salute.
Until then, you hide in his bag. And I point at Paradigm.
What?
"Aye, aye!" says the
Okay.
clone as it makes a beeline, running its tiny legs pattering on the ground straight towards Paradigm and ignoring Paradigm's protests and attempts to squirm out of the way, worms itself into his bag.
Well, we can't walk around in the party without being noticed now, can he? Let's go.
Jonathan takes a second to
We'll have
To
to jump
lean
around the
over.
home theater, but that's alright. Our friend here will start an opening volley for us.
Jonathan leans over to Ghost and says, I think I know what you mean, actually, about what you said when we met with the mutants. This isn't possible. Something is so wrong.
Right?
And actually,
I don't like it.
I'm feeling much better, says Kitty. Don't think I'll need that red juice after all.
Why would
She says, and there's no hole in her forehead anymore, just a blue growth.
Yeah.
Like a plug filling the gap.
Sure you only want one clone?
Oh, you fuck.
Yay! Just one for now.
Just one
Just
for
one
now.
for now. If there were less collateral around, I'd get more of them, but you know.
And so, with the little potato-headed homunculus riding in Paradigm's bag, and Paradigm, each time you take a step, you hear protestations from inside the bag. Whoa! Oh, the waves are rough tonight! Oh, we're sailing into the storm!
Jonathan just kind of like smacks the bag and says, "Shut the fuck up."
This isn't happening. It ain't
Don't set off
happening.
the grenade there.
We've hit a rock!
Nah. You do be pretty chiseled.
Water in the hold, Captain! Water in the hold!
You told us to be quiet. We don't want to give them away. Oh, whatever. This is already going
You need
horribly.
to be going into sneaky mode. Fortunately, it is a loud party. Remember, sing the sneaking song.
We sing the sneaking song, tiptoe, tiptoe, against Labrador Crusade. We tiptoe past Commodore Boxmouth.
Oh my god.
And of course, we get into the main party, and nobody can hear it
Yeah.
anymore.
So you step back into the parlor, and the music is still going. The people are gyrating on the dance floor, a single mass. They appear to be considerably higher than they were just 10 minutes ago. Their faces pale in the dim light, their eyes bloodshot. There's a couple of them just standing in the middle of the dance floor, just feeling the air in front of them as if they're trying to touch things that aren't there.
Okay, last one into the theater, shut the door behind you. You might be able to dodge collateral.
There's
And
one
go.
Virid Viper left, standing in his post in front of the vault. And as you approach the home theater, he holds up a hand, and he says, "Can't let you in there. You know what Sloan's like. Last scene of Cop Killer's her favorite. I can't have that blood on my hands."
Yeah, I do know, but why don't you go swim in the pool, my lad?
Ah. Go
The
ahead.
power of friendship says you don't want to be here.
Go ahead
Maybe.
and roll your power.
Power of friendship be awfully squirrely some days. Never mind, Kitty can take some feedback.
You want a glitch?
I don't have any glitches left.
Jonathan, Paradigm, you got glitches left?
Don't worry about it.
Oh,
There's
he's
other
got a
ways to
snake
handle
hoof.
this guy.
1 point of feedback.
Do you guys have any objections to me just using my fangs on this guy and biting his fucking throat out?
Not a bit. Just do
No,
it quietly.
Yeah.
Make it look
Swim?
like a kiss.
I can't
Yeah,
swim,
alright.
he says, shaking his head.
Can't
I gotta
swim.
stay here or Sloan will have my... And at this point, Ghost lunges forwards, bares her deserter fangs, and goes in. Go ahead, Ghost, and make a dexterity or strength athletics check for me.
Can do.
Does anyone have a red juice injector, by the way? Now I'm hurting a bit.
And it's DR10 to DR10 to
God.
bite him.
Has anyone got a glitch? That was a 1.
Oh, God.
For that,
Have one.
yes, you can have one more of my glitches.
Go ahead. It's only DR10.
I have a first aid kit.
Never mind then.
There we go, 17 plus
Oh,
4.
goodbye.
17. As a voice calls out from within Paradigm's bag. "Hey, you take a swim in the drink, you will!" Ghost lunges forwards, bares her deserter fangs, and sinks them into the guy's neck. He gasps as blood gushes forth from the hole in his neck, and as he starts to go down, Ghost retracts her fangs. Jonathan lunges forwards, grabs the man as he slowly hits the ground, looks over his shoulder, sees the people on the dance floor, blissfully unaware of what's happening only meters away, and as the music continues pounding, drags in behind the drink bar out of sight.
It's been a fucking long night.
It has. Let's finish it.
Jesus, what are you, a vampire?
Awesome is what she is.
I don't know. That's a little
He is-
subtle.
I know. They are.
Just call me Ghost.
It's not like
Hell,
they can
don't
turn
refer to me at all if you want.
vampire. It's not like they can turn invisible and disappear and reappear in places like the mist. All right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would be silly.
Imagine if I could do that. That'd be weird.
Yeah,
The door to the home theater is in front of you. The walls have been decked out in plush red wallpaper. A red carpet leads from the parlor to the thick metal doors leading to the home theater, and Sloan's even installed a little marquee at the top. It says, "Now showing Cop Killer 69. If you're not Sloan, fuck off!"
all right. Kitty beckons the homunculus out of the bag, puts her hand on the pin, and says, "When you open the door."
"Aye aye, Captain!" says the homunculus. The flashbang grenade being almost entirely too large for its hands as it creeps towards the door. And who's gonna open it?
Somebody who ain't standing in front of it is me suggestion.
Yeah, Jonathan will do it. He's used
Yeah.
to breach and clear. He'll push it open.
So Jonathan raises his assault rifle, kicks the door down, and the homunculus runs into the movie theater. The first thing you see is the window that looks out onto the roof access is actually the theater screen. And on screen there's an image of a huge man who's more machine than human, raising a cannon for a right arm and saying, "I kill cops! That's what I do!" And then there's an explosion as the homunculus shouts, "For the Captain Kitty! Boards! Boards!" And poof! the flashbang goes off. Just as Sloan hears the sound of the door opening and whirls around, and in the brief second before the flashbang goes off, you see her porcelain face twist into a smile of utter and hatred and anticipation and bloodlust, all mixed together in one nasty piece of work. I'm gonna have her roll to see if she... That is a 7. She's blinded. Go ahead, Kitty. Your homunculus did the thing, so roll initiative.
Okay. Lucky dice is there. It's been weird results tonight. We'll see how this goes. Maybe tonight's the night we win. No, of course we don't. We don't. She goes first.
She goes
first. I'll roll to see how many rounds she's blind. Did 4 rounds. Okay, good deal.
4 rounds. Nice. She stands up in the middle of the aisle in the home cinema. And it's at this point you notice that although there's rows upon rows of seats in the home cinema, most of them don't have a place for you to sit. The backing is there, but the seat itself is not, and Sloan is occupying the only one that's actually usable. She stands up, rips off her green jacket, revealing the cyber blades and dermal plating underneath, and her eyes flash bright red as she screams, "Ah!" and starts to charge towards you. And I'm just going to quickly check something with the cyber deck. Just seeing what her cyber thing does.
I wouldn't want to be that homunculus standing in front of her right now.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be that homunculus. So, she has... As her eyes glow red, you realise she has buzz eyes. Fly-like eyes that offer her 360-degree vision capabilities. The front of her is blinded, but she still has partial vision, which reduces the flash grenade's buff from 4 to 2.
Still something.
Still something, indeed. She charges forwards towards the homunculus, and the homunculus has just enough time to shout, "Yeah! They be ready for us, boarded, Cap'n!" before he attempts to roll to dodge her. Fails, and she brings down her cyber blade, shing, cutting him neatly in 2.
No! Smarty McNoPants! How could you?
And as a Psy-Raging Menace, she gets to attack more than once per turn, so she continues charging towards Jonathan as he leads the breach through the door, and Ghost, Paradigm, and Kitty charge up behind him. Paradigm being the last one through, who grabs the thick door and slams it shut so that those out in the parlor don't hear this Psy-Raging Menace go down. She charges straight towards Jonathan, and Jonathan, I would like you to make a DR10 to dodge it, please.
No problems. That is an unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20,
Dirty
nice.
20. Alright.
So
That's
you
the one, dirty 20.
dodge out of the way as she slashes down, cleaving one of the hollow-backed chairs in 2. And now, it is, Jonathan, your turn as the first through the door.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to run down the aisle partly so he can split between the two. So she can only go one way towards him, or the other way towards the rest of the group.
Yep.
And sprints past her and slides down the aisle, flips around, and starts taking pot shots with the assault rifle.
Go ahead. So it is normally DR10 to hit a Psy-Raging Menace. Once we factor in the flash grenade, DR8. Very easy to hit her.
And even though there's only one of her, I'm still going to auto-fire because it's just better rolls.
Yep.
Yeah, she big.
25.
25.
Ooh.
Definitely a hit. Roll the damage.
Two.
2. Nice. Her subdermal plating, she is more metal than flesh, absorbs 1 of that, meaning she takes 1 point of damage. Go ahead and roll your next attack.
Oh, do I get multiple attacks on the same target?
Oh wait, no auto fire. No, you don't.
No, I didn't think so.
That's your turn done. So up next, we'll go Paradigm.
Oh god.
She mad.
Regular one's Yes, for now, just gonna take some pot shots at her with my smart rifle. Smart gun.
Go ahead.
Rifle.
Plenty of cover in amongst the aisles, so
Yeah.
no need to engage her up close yet.
Yeah, this will be a regular presence shot.
Yep.
That's a 14, which hits her.
That is a hit. Yep. Only 8 required to hit her, at least for the next 3 rounds.
Hmm. For 4 damage.
4 damage, and her armor absorbs 3 of that, meaning 1 point of damage gets through.
Yeah.
The bullets chip off the front of her torso. Ting! Ting! Sounds like you're firing at a corrugated iron wall, as on the screen above, the cybered man shoots a grenade launcher into a cop car. It blows up, and Jinghai shouts, "I kill cops! That's what I do!" as she continues charging down the aisle. Ghost, your turn.
Okay, y'all have got stuff to see in the dark, right?
Yes.
They do, yes.
For the most part.
But there's enough light from the cinema screen that you don't really need to use it.
Yeah, I'm wondering where the projector is so I can take that out.
Turn it off, yeah. So the projector appears to be within the room. You look over your shoulder and see a compartment up in the wall, at the back wall, just above the entrance to the home theater. The projector is built into the wall, and there's a blinking circular light indicating that that's where the picture's coming from.
Yeah, I'm gonna fire at that.
Yeah, alright, go ahead, roll me. We'll go, since you're aiming the shot, we will go presence firearms.
That's a 15.
You raise your gun, point it towards the light in the wall, and fire. Your bullet shatters the lens of the projector, and the beam of light that fills the room, through which you can see tiny flecks of dust and smoke particles, instantly dies. I kill cops! That's what I... The picture dies, and Sloan screams in rage as the entire theater is thrown into pitch blackness. Her eyes do not grant her the ability to see in the dark, but at this moment, Jonathan and Paradigm reach up, slip their visors down, and the theater is illuminated in dull green, and you could see this side-raging menace looking around furiously, trying to gauge where you are.
Well,
Kitty, you're up.
well, I can't see in the dark either, but fortunately she be loud.
Yeah, very loud.
So I'll be fighting a bit blind, but so is she, so I figure it evens out.
Go
And
ahead,
Kitty
make a presence investigate check, and you'll know exactly where she is.
You ask much?
Only DR10.
Oh well, with an 18 that'll do it.
Yeah. So you know exactly where she is. You can't quite see her, But there is
Artie.
one of those silhouettes vaguely in the darkness that's slightly bigger and darker than everything else around it, and that's her.
Excellent. Are the movie theater fake seats, are they hollow underneath?
They indeed are.
Cool. Kitty will crawl under one and whack at her ankles with the monosword.
Go ahead. Roll DR8 to hit her.
Also puts cover between her and me when she returns fire. That's more than enough. That's 21.
Yeah, roll the damage.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. She's got good armor, but who knows? 4 points.
4 points. Her armor absorbs 2, and she takes 2 points of damage as you crawl underneath the seat in front of her, popping out in the aisle and whacking at her ankle with your mono sword, and she acts as if she doesn't even feel it. She's just screaming, her eyes gleaming red in the darkness. And it's her turn, and for her first strike, she's gonna just cleave straight down at Kitty. So Kitty, that will be DR12 to dodge.
Alright. I do have a movie theater seat in between twixt me and her, so that's something.
Yes, I'll take that. I'll let that absorb damage if she hits you.
But with a 15, that doesn't matter. Small target.
Yeah. Shing! The blade bounces off the movie theater seat as you drop it and roll away, and her cyber blade embeds itself into the carpet. She rips it free and then screams, "Ah!" Charging towards Paradigm. Paradigm, make a DR12 check to dodge her.
It's a 7.
7. Die! Die! She shouts as her cyber blade in the darkness finds you, and you take 6 points of damage.
Armor says.
Oh, armor says it's only 2 damage.
2 damage.
Ooh.
And then because of her bloodlust, because of the drugs that she's hopped up on, she gets a third attack. This round only, after making one successful attack. And already having struck Paradigm once, she swings again, determined to chop him to bits. Go ahead, roll DR12 to dodge her.
Oh, well, it's a 17 this time.
17. You roll out of the way as her blade cleaves through a seat. Her eyes glimmer bright red, and she shrieks as the triple dose of Miura in her system activates, sending her into a Psy Rage. And all that does, as you are the only targets in the room, just gives her a +2 on her attack rolls. Alright, Jonathan, you're up. But she's also easier to hit now. DR6 to hit her as she's in frenzy from the Miura.
Oh yeah. Wow, Jonathan doesn't really have a whole lot of things at his disposal other than shooting, so he's gonna continue keeping his position on the opposite of the rest of the gang and pepper away.
Yep.
Auto firing.
Go ahead, roll to hit her, only DR6 required.
Yeah, that's definitely past 26.
26. And by the way, whenever she hits anyone, I'm taking 1 off the damage because of her being in the dark and not really being able to strike you where she's aiming for. But go ahead.
Ooh, I get a 7 though.
7, nice.
7 damage.
Her armor subtracts 4 and she takes 3 damage. One of your bullets manages to strike right in the gap between her dermal chest plate and the skin underneath. But in her Miura-induced frenzy, she barely even feels it. I kill cops! And then, It's Paradigm's turn.
Ow, that hurt.
Get out of there if you had to.
I'm thinking I'm gonna make that sword disappear.
Yeah, make whatever side blades disappear. Go ahead, roll your
Just
power.
make sure. Okay. Just make sure not to catch her head in the effect. We need that.
Does count as being used, though, so it
Yeah.
will be DR14.
Oh, yeah. 23.
23, nice. You see another cyber blade come down towards you, and then suddenly it disintegrates, and the dust rains down onto your face. Sloan screams as she tries to pummel you with the stub that's left, and you roll out of the way. And now it is Ghost's turn.
Any chance of me getting into any of her systems, optics, etc.?
Oh, for sure, you can try. That'll be a knowledge technology check, DR16. She's made sure that she's got some security, but not top of the line stuff.
That is I got 15.
15. You get beyond the first level of her defenses, and you see her personality core deep within the chip in her brain, and you're making a beeline towards it, floating across the violently pulsating bright red digital landscape that makes up her inner sanctum, when suddenly the ice finds you. And she's not being subtle here. The ice are big, giant, blood-stained blades that drop out of the sky like Damocles' swords, striking you, kicking her out of her system, and you take 4 points of damage as feedback. Blood begins to gush from your nose. And now you're up, Kitty.
A flashlight clicks on, finds her in the darkness. There's only one sure way to bring the giant down! And she fires her grappling arm around her leg and tries to haul her to the floor.
Pull her down. Yep, alright, go ahead, and I'll let you make a presence firearms check for that, as to see if you get her in the right spot.
13!
13. You fire your grappling gun. Thunk. The paracord wraps around her left ankle, and then you tug on it, and she screams as she falls down with a thump.
I will try to wedge her leg beneath the seat so she can't just scramble up next round and hold her there, like a whaler on a harpoon.
And then you rush towards her, grab her leg, and pull on it, wrapping the cord tighter around it and jamming it underneath one of the nearby seats. She screams as she flails her cyber blade at you. So go ahead and make a DR14 dodge check. Kitty?
Fortunately, I be a small target. Natural 20, so as she comes in, Kitty Fist swipes them on a sword in a wide arc.
Dealing.
Hey, stop that then! So that's a 14.
Ooh. Yeah, 14 will definitely hit, because it's only DR6 to hit her while she's on Miura.
7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. So, her armor absorbs 3 of that, and she takes 4 points of damage as you hack away and smash the edge of the cyber blade off. She would normally have 2 cyber blades, but Paradigms turn one of them into dust. That doesn't stop her trying to pummel you with the metallic stump that used to be there, though, so roll another DR14 to dodge.
Okay. I can do that. Maybe. Natural 1.
Natural 1. Ooh, double damage from her.
At least it's only stumps and not claws.
Yeah, it's only a stump, so it's only going to be a D6 as opposed to a D8.
Alright.
That's 10 points of damage as she pummels you right in the face, knocking your tricorn off and shattering some of the nanocrystals underneath.
That's nice. Kitty is now at 0.
Ooh, Kitty's at 0. Alright. First time this has come up. Kitty,
Yeah.
Yeah.
go ahead for me and roll a D8.
5.
5. And Kitty's knocked unconscious as the crystals shatter. Kitty opens her mouth to say something, but then she just drops to the ground, and she is unable to act for 2 rounds, totally unconscious. And if you had time to watch, you'd see the crystals shattered, turning into a strange blue ooze that starts to gather around the exact spot where Sloan pummeled her, almost like cells
But she is-
descending upon a disease within the body.
But she is tied down.
She
For
is tied
now.
down. So, Jonathan, you're up.
More of the same from him. Auto
Yeah,
fire.
she's now held down, so easier to hit. DR4.
Yeah, he's gonna wander up to where she's tied down, and just kind of like lean over her, barrel pointed at her center mass, and just blast away.
Go ahead, roll to hit her.
23.
23, yeah, definitely a hit. Roll the damage.
That's a 4.
4. Her armor absorbs 2 of it. She takes 2 points of damage. And Kitty can thank Paradigm for getting rid of that second Cyber Blade. Otherwise, that probably would have been more than 10 damage. And Kitty would probably no longer be with us.
Yep.
But Paradigm, you're up. She's still held to the ground. Jonathan standing over her, plugging away.
Doesn't he get more auto-fire
Slamming.
shots?
Oh, yeah, he does.
No,
Only
not against the same target.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
against the
different
same
target.
target.
Oh, well, go ahead.
Totally can.
Another one.
Oh, really? I should have been doing that the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
I'll give you a free one after this as well, regardless of whether you
Sure.
hit.
Give me 1 second to check that.
Okay.
Oh no, it is against the same target.
Yes. Told
Just
ya.
keep rolling d12s until you miss.
Yeah,
up to
alright.
up to 3 attacks. Okay, cool. I should
D20s.
have been doing that.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a free one after this, regardless of whether or not it hits.
That's an dirty 20.
Yeah, that's a hit. Roll the damage.
That's another 3.
Another 3. She takes 1 as her armor absorbs 2. Okay, you get another one, and then another one after this from a previous round.
It's a 19. Another hit.
19, yep. Roll the damage.
It's an 8.
8. Her armor absorbs 4. She takes 4. And 1 more.
15.
15. Definitely a hit. Roll the damage.
That's a 5.
5. She takes 2 points from that as she sits there writhing on the ground, flailing at you, trying to free herself from the unconscious Kitty's grappling hook. Her movement restricted, and Jonathan standing over her, just firing non-stop into her torso plating. And you are up, Paradigm.
Cool. That is it. I guess all in a raging state, and that's kind of hard to tell whether or not she's about to go down, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't really tell. She looks like she's taken a lot of damage. Most of her dermal plating's gone. There's blood gushing out of the parts of her that are still flesh, but she doesn't seem to register at all. She's just screaming. She's even given up on her killing cops gag.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and keep firing into her chest then.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then
Only
back up a bit.
Only a 6 required to hit her.
Are you auto firing as well?
Might as well.
Please.
Guns. It's a 10 to hit on the first shot.
Yep, that's definitely a hit. Roll the damage.
So 3 damage.
3 damage. She takes 1 of that, but you get to go again. Standing next to Jonathan, eyeing him as you raise your smart gun and let loose.
Oh, that is a dirty 20 to hit.
Ooh, yeah. Damage?
Yeah, why not? I'm going to, for this damage roll, I'm going to spend a glitch to do max damage. So 10.
Yeah, 10. Ah! She screams as Jonathan fires into the torso block, finally shredding away the last of the dermal plating, revealing heaving, rapidly beating heart underneath. Paradigm smiles as he points his gun point blank into the cavity and fires. Her red pinprick eyes blink once and turn off. Her body continues whirring for a few seconds more as the CPU in her head imparts the last of its instructions, and then she stops, the cyberware remaining inert, held above her in a defensive stance that did her no good. Jinghai Sloan is dead, and as Alt says, it's hardly an assassination, it's an execution. The half-woman, half-machine mass in front of you begins to bleed profusely into the dull red carpet. And sticking out of her head is a mass of wires with a single reinforced metal chip on the end, her data core.
Jonathan is going to solemnly crouch down and kind of just point at it. Like, oh, this is gross. Ghost, do you think you could?
Me?
You're the one who's good with tech and stuff. I don't want to explode it or
okay,
something by ripping on it.
Yeah. So, Ghost, with your technology, you're able to carefully unplug the wires from the tiny clump of brain matter that's still there in her chrome skull, and the LEDs on the chip fade and turn off. Mission accomplished. All you gotta do now is exfiltrate.
Is Kitty still unconscious at this point?
At this point, you hear Kitty groan. Ugh. Kitty, you look to your side and see your tricorn hat, or what's left of it. Nothing more than deep blue shreds of fabric lying on the blood-stained carpet. Kitty's back
that's
with
a pain.
4 HP.
Alright. Did we get what we come for?
We sure did. She's dead. We've got the blueprint, or at least we got the PDA that we assume it's on.
We got her data core, just like Vera Coilings wanted. At this, Ghost reaches to her ear, taps under her earlobe, sending a quick message to Vera Coilings. Mission accomplished. Beep beep! The reply appears on your RED within seconds. Great. Meet at Tech Noir. Johnson's gonna have his work cut out for him. Well done. And there's a thumbs up emoji.
Hey,
Okay.
Was I able to identify what was on the blueprints from the vault?
Yes, you were. So, you were able to determine, Paradigm, that this is essentially red juice that is triple the potency. But as you suspected, it does use nanos as a delivery vector to allow the red juice to be delivered into parts of the body that would usually be disconnected from the bloodstream. The blueprint claims that the nanos are no longer live, are disabled, and are simply being used as a delivery vector. But you've seen enough nanos in all your research trying to understand what has happened to your own body to know that nanos are never inert. They just want you to think they are.
Yeah.
Even with the nanos removed, however, this would still produce a version of red juice that is stronger than usual. Rather than being triple the potency, however, it'd only be about double the strength. Still unmistakably a good thing, but nowhere near the panacea that Dr. Tate wishes it to be.
Well, seeing as their exfiltration method is presumably the elevator and virtually pulling on the fire escape, Jonathan's going to go back to the bedroom, cut the tires of the guy, head back to the theater room, start a fire, like just set one of the chairs on fire, and calmly head towards the elevator.
Yeah. Oh, thank God, says the man as you untie him. And when you return to the theatre, Paradigm's explaining to the others what he found on the data pads and how this blueprint could be altered. But the thing is, do you trust Doc Tate's guy to do the right thing?
No, probably not.
So, Paradigm,
Never met him, so probably not.
the data pad is in your hands. Send it on to Doc Tate, or delete.
Did he say he'd give us a reward for it, or was he just
Yep.
asking for it?
500 off
300.
your... Yeah, 500 off your debts each. But that was the sole reward.
As a player, I think that sounds great, but
Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to think of. Like, does he feel that bad? I don't think he feels that bad about it.
They be eating crystals in their street tacos, Paradigm.
Yeah, they're eating that weird mushrooms from Ground Zero, so I don't feel that bad about it.
Just saying.
Transfer it off the data pad into your RED, and then you package it to a message straight to Doc Tate. You press the button, and then, as Jonathan lights one of the chairs on fire and the electronic fire alarm begins to ring, you step out of the theatre to see and hear the cacophony that is the party goers scrambling for the stairwell just off the side of the parlour, jostling with each other, merging into a single mass of flesh, sweat, and clothing as they converge upon that single door, all while the music continues to pound. Nobody bothers to check the home theatre. Nobody notices what's become of Jinghai Sloan. And so, Jonathan straightens the tie on his security guard uniform as he calmly leads the rest of you to the elevator. And as the doors shut behind you, thunk, and the elevator begins to rumble, carrying you once more down Radling Subsection A, a message pops up on the screen from Doc Tate. Thank you. You have done the people of the slums a service. 500 as promised, and our continuing working relationship. The elevator rattles, carries you down. You realise that the 3 goons you left unconscious in the penthouse don't know there's a fire, and nobody's going to go back to look for them. You hope
Oh, whoops.
the home theatre
Mm.
is well insulated. But hey, punks, you gotta break eggs to make an omelette, or, wait, let me rephrase that. You've gotta jailbreak some cyber eggs to make a new omelette. Am I right?
Well, we
Oh.
were supposed to not have witnesses anyway.
Yeah.
Not saying it's a good thing,
Yeah.
but it is a thing.
Not long later, as the last gasps of nightlife start making their way home off the streets, as the neon that bathes Psy starts to give way to the silent, dull grey of dawn. You meet with Vera Coilings and Initiate Johnson outside the Tech Noir Club. It's 10 minutes before closing time. The music is no longer playing, and yet there are still some wolfcore and mobcore revelers on the dance floor, shifting their bodies to nothing. They're no longer fighting. In fact, they're dancing, arm in arm. The wolfcore dancers howling at nothing as the silent music reaches a crescendo in their minds. Ow! And the mobcore dancers fist pump the air. Yeah! Dance in a public place! We love it! Vera Coiling smiles as she leans against the outer facade of Tech Noir. You made it out! And in one piece. Although I noticed there, Miss Kitty, your hat's missing, and, you're right there. Looks like you got some sort of skin condition.
Says Kitty, her holographic display kind of fizzling a bit, blue shining through here and there. Nothing that won't heal. You should see the other one.
You've got the data from Sloan, but I gotta ask, just to be sure. Make sure you didn't cut any deals behind the collective's back. Sloan, where'd you leave her? Bleeding out in a pool of her own blood?
Burning to a crisp at this moment, actually.
Lovely.
You might say we broke her heart.
Vera smiles, and as she relishes the thought of Jinghai Sloan burning to death in her own penthouse, her body shudders with excitement. Her layers upon layers of jewelry and metal coilings rattling, seeming to dancing on Sloane's grave. Good, she says. The collective will be very happy. With Sloan gone, there won't be any more of that subpar vert flooding the streets. And the people of the slums, hell, the corpo types in Burnchurch Hex, in the in-betweens, they'll thank you. They might get to live a day longer. As for what's on that data chip, we know that Sloan was doing wet work for Allianson. Something to do with Project Old Gods. Whether she was supplying the drugs, or supplying test subjects, or taking out people who needed to be silenced, she was doing something. And the collective won't rest until we discover what Allianson's doing to the people of this city and put a stop to it. She holds out a hand. Are we agreed? Are you in, or are you out?
Oh, of course I'd be in.
Well, I'd love to help the people of the city, and you do pay quite well.
Paradigm? Ghost?
I mean, yeah, sure. It gives us an excuse to mess with a major corporation.
Yeah, alright.
Going down, says Vera as she shakes each of your hands. or at least the old guards division. Something's going on in this city, and these people deserve someone who's got their back. And that's us and the collective. She reaches a finger to her earlobe, presses the button of her RED, and her fee is deposited into your accounts. 1,000 off your debts, plus 1,500 in your pockets to spend on whatever you wish.
New armor.
And another 500 over to Ivan. He deserves it. She tosses the Sloane's data chip to Johnson next to her. He catches it clumsily, slides it into the breast pocket of his suit. And then she says, and now, everything's in your hands, my dear Johnson. Don't fail to impress Ghost a second time. Jonathan smiles, he blushes, and then he nods. Sure, Ghost, Vera, I'll do my best. I'll get on it right away.
Don't fuck it up.
And with that, we conclude this session. 1,500 off your debt when you include Doc Tate's payment, and then 1,500 in your pocket to spend on whatever you like, plus the 375 you're liberated from Sloane's vault from her rainy day fund.
Guess who just paid off their debt?
Ooh.
Indeed,
Hello,
which
Ghost.
means Ghost will get a special ability next session, which I'll explain when we begin to play. But as you've now paid it off, would you like to explain what Ghost's debts signified?
Ghost has been working on a black box, which allows them to upload their personality into a digital form, purely digital. And Ghost now is no longer... They don't require a body, they can use one if they download it themselves, or if they find either a very heavily modded body or a robot body or something to control. But they functionally exist digitally, and they can transfer themselves around computers.
Ghost no longer is tied to the physical realm. And so, Ghost no longer receives a penalty on non-hacking tasks while jacked into her cyber deck. She's omnipotent, baby. She can hack on her cyber deck and maneuver her body as if she had her full attention devoted to both tasks. She is, in effect, a ghost in a shell. Yes, Paradox.
There it is, baby! Walking up to that for, 8 sessions?
Yeah. So Ghost has reached her end game, and no longer being tied to meat space, being able to hack so much better, being able to hack on her cyber deck and do other things at the same time without penalty. She's become so much more potent a hacker, but she's still in this. No longer for money, but for something more. If you are to become a god of the digital realm, you must prove that you can perform godlike actions. And what's more godlike than striking down a corporation? The old gods, specifically. If there is to be a new god of the digital realm, then the old gods must perish. And that is Ghost's new objective. This also means that Ghost can no longer have debt collectors come to claim her debt, which hasn't happened actually, but if it did, it would have been like a hacker collective coming to claim on the blueprints for the black box that she stole from them. But Paradigm, Jonathan, and Kitty, you're still game. And I have rolled a next session, someone will be coming to collect Paradigm's debt. Kitty, you're
Yeah.
off the
I
hook
guess.
at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
That's
Has to
cool.
be one of us.
you all level up to level 4, and I rolled the check with your new level, adding +4 to the roll instead of +3, which is probably why it triggered a debt collection. So you all level up to level 4, and in addition, I would like, as Ghost was the one to finish off her debt first, to roll a d6 for me for the miserable headline.
Ugh.
Okay. Four.
4. No miserable headline. The simulation continues on, as it always has. The citizens of Psy continuing to live their lives, unaware of the fact that they are part of something much greater than themselves. Unaware of the fact that somebody who lives among them has found a way to ascend it all, to become the new god of the digital realm. Thanks for playing, everyone. We'll be back next session for the first of the end game arc, the betrayal. I'll see you then.